Like, do you now have to put on a top hat when you're naked?
Respectfully yours.
Respectfully yours.
But naked.
This is my vagina hole.
Hi, this is sugahoneybbt, a podcast aimed to amplify Asian women voices while navigating race, dating, and wellness. I am not Ange. I am Toby.
We're trying to catch you guys off guard with Toby starting the intro. Not bad, actually, but you have to like read from it.
Performance anxiety.
I just put you on the pedestal. Okay, well, before we start today's episode, please go follow us on Instagram at sugahoneybbt, SUGAHONEYBBT. And, you know, we post a lot of podcast episode-related segments every week and much more.
Yeah.
And especially on Wednesday, we have...
Vibe check.
Vibe check. I love this week's vibe check.
Oh,
yeah, it's great.
Is inspired by my ex getting engaged.
Would you like to explore that?
He will be receiving a direct bill from my therapist in about 3 to 5 business days.
That would be a pretty big bill.
Yes.
And more on that issue in a bit. We have an announcement to make. So Toby and I are hosting our very first event for Sugar Honey Bubble Tea podcast. So all of our listeners are welcome to come. The event will be in Vancouver, of course. And it will be at Harbor Green Park on August 28th. It's a Saturday, and it's going to be a picnic. We call it the Hot People Picnic. You can come even if you're not hot. But anyways, it will be a picnic, and there will be free food, bubble tea, thanks to our sponsors. There will be booze and contests, and basically come and have fun with us. Also, please consider donating to us via PayPal.
Yeah, we have a shout out this week.
Yeah, and when you donate to us, we will give you a shout out on the pod. Something goes like what we're about to do next. So we have a shout out to who?
Karen.
I love Karen. Karen gave us money. So here's a truly unsolicited Taiwanese auntie advice to Karen. Mm-hmm. Stop Googling local male strippers when there isn't a bachelorette happening. We are concerned. Please practice self-care and just stay off the web, babe.
Stop it, Karen.
Karen is like, son of a bitch, I gave him money.
She also called us hilarious, which are music to my ears.
Yeah. But really just we are really concerned. So yeah. Karen is like, I want to talk to the manager.
Which will be us of the pod.
Karen is like, I gave you money and I want to talk to the manager. What is this fictional shit?
Oh my god.
Okay, well.
So, how are you feeling?
Wait, before we get into that,
yes,
I want to talk about your ex getting engaged. Since you started it.
Let's just really dive deep into that. Yeah. So,
I mean, like, we don't have to go really deep into it, because then there would just be 45 minutes and I have to build this to your ex.
I have to edit this entire episode and I'll send it to him as a wedding gift, just like MP4.
Play it at the wedding.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that was a news.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just weird because I was like, oh, I'm definitely like so over this person. I feel great about myself. But
yes,
seeing someone who have traumatized you like that happy is just
it's just not great.
Yeah, I'm like, I spent thousands of dollars in therapy and you are getting engaged.
That is the news. That is the fact.
Yes.
Yeah, but hopefully he's in a happy marriage.
Yeah, best of luck in his future endeavors.
Warmest regards. But anyways, let's start this episode.
Yeah, so how are you feeling?
Overwhelming, honestly overwhelming with informations and emotions.
Yeah,
there's just so much going on this week, like so much going on. There's all the way from the news about the earthquake in Haiti, all the way to Afghanistan, and all the way up to Onlyfans
and forest fire.
But out of all this, let's talk about Onlyfans.
Absurdism.
Yeah. So what's up with Onlyfans?
So, they decided to remove some of the sexual contents from OnlyFans.
Yeah, so basically they are banning sexual explicit videos starting in October, which is a fat fuck you and all the people that made, like all the basically sex workers that made the platform famous.
Yeah, I saw that was what the platform was for, but I guess not.
I did not know that OnlyFans didn't do. I thought OnlyFans is for
sexual
contents. So like, what is it? Just a platform of what? Nothingness?
Friendly exchange? Like, yeah, I don't get that either.
Like, do you not have to put on a top hat when you're naked?
Respectfully yours.
Respectfully yours.
But naked.
This is my vagina hole.
I don't get it.
It's weird. And so I read into it. Basically, it said stuff like that they're banning it due to their investors or like their banking investors.
Oh.
So yeah, white men once again.
Oh, what a boring bunch.
Do not want to liberate sexual activities.
Free the nipple my ass. Why free the woman nipple when you can just censor men's nipples?
Oh. Communism, I like this.
I really just chose violence today. I have no regards for anything.
But it just said they're not banning all sexual explicit videos. They're just like some of them that doesn't follow the terms and condition, I guess, like the guidelines.
You know what? I would be interested to read about what their guidelines are, because I didn't know that there are less nude.
Like, yeah, like it's a nude, just nude.
Yeah.
Like, you can see my pussy hole, but you can't spread them. you can, yeah.
Just enclosed pussy hole.
Enclosed pussy hole, no spreading pussy holes allowed. It's a violation to our guideline.
What? Just absurdism.
Absurdism, honestly. Yeah, but I think I also look further into it. They are starting a streaming platform called OFTV, OnlyFans TV, which sounds very sexual to me. But apparently, because they're starting this, and so you can't have sexual contents on there.
So it's like a master class. But
I went from looking at people's pussy hole to how to make a casserole.
Oh my god.
This is how you make a casserole.
So they have my attention now.
So I'm fucking dying up here. Like, this is a hate crime.
Just absurdism. It's just so absurd.
Oh, I'm actually crying. Anyways, yeah. So no, I'm just overwhelmed with a lot of information this week and not feeling like my greatest. Just the world is not a safe place for anyone anymore.
The world is not a safe place.
Yeah. Like the video of people clinging to an airplane trying to leave Afghanistan because the Taliban has taken over the entire country. Pretty much. That made me really sad. So I was in my depression bed reading my depression news for a good day or two.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I definitely saw that, and I was like just crying on the train. I have no regards for anyone else. I cry whenever I want to now. I no longer care. Yeah, and it just like, I guess overall I was just feeling sad about the world. It's more so like just like seeing humans being treated that way.
Yeah.
And was like, oh wow, if they think that is the best possible option they have is to cling on the plane, like,
yeah, knowing that they're going to die.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'd rather die falling off a plane than to get, to live this life being controlled by terrorist groups.
So insane. And also just like not yeah, I just like read all about what's going on this week, and like I finally understood, because I did not, like, I guess it was pretty just far removed from my usual world. Yeah,
so basically out of nowhere I text you with no context, we are the generation of information, depression, and self-care. And you're like, episode.
New topic idea.
Yeah, but yeah, I just feel like in this generation, maybe not this generation, but more like people who grew up with social media or grew up with technology and computer, there's this urge to like need to know everything, but then when you do know everything, you feel this hopelessness.
Yeah,
and it's just like a feeling of depression and feeling like I need to be offline and do some self-care, quote unquote. But then it's like an endless cycle. It's like this, it's called Burnout Syndrome. Yeah. And which I also found out it's classified as an international disease.
Burnout is real.
Burnout Syndrome. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like I just kind of felt like we could kind of do an episode and talk about how we're feeling, and this generation of conflict.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the self-care versus, like, I guess because right now so much information is so accessible to people all the time, and you, like, it's hard for you to not know. You have to purposely stay away if you want to not know anything. Honestly,
disassociate yourself from the world.
Yeah, so because people know so much, so people are like, oh, you know what, we have to like set boundaries, you know, self-care, hashtag self-care. And there's like this whole trend, or like I guess this whole like self-care culture that's just been like happening on social media. Yeah. This absurdism. And I guess sometimes it's like the whole thing is like, okay, is she really doing better than me, or is she just posting on Instagram?
Like, I know what you mean. Like, I see people who are doing really well, and then I question, is like myself, like I'm not doing so well, and why is everyone else happy? Yeah, I don't know, like your ex.
Why is he happy?
Yeah, and then I also question but like this whole thing, like the performative aspect of wellness on social media. I'm not saying self-care in itself is a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. Self-care is great, but then the performative wellness and the performative self-care on social media is just
so like this whole, I feel like this whole like online self-care culture thing is propelling everyone away from actual self-care. And like so many of this like wellness trends, like, you know, like self-care, self-love, health and wellness are like essentially a paradox, because in order to sell any concept to people in capitalism, you have to convince them, that remind them that the opposite of like what they're lacking. So it's like this whole booming of this self-care thing is just the perfect,
it's kind of like beauty standards versus beauty standards in capitalism. Now it's like self-care in capitalism. It's like, for example, the other day we were talking about pussy whitening cream. And and I was like, before I knew about pussy whitening cream, I never had an issue, or I never even know pussy needs to be white. Like, what is this? Why is my pussy now all of a sudden informed to be white? Like, what is this white supremacy shit again doing to my pussy?
Hate crime.
This hate crime against my pussy being not white enough. So anyways, it's like capitalism is it's very simple. It's creating problems that does not exist to make you feel shame about it, and then they sell you a product. And the same thing is happening in wellness. It's like, you are depressed. Look at all this news. You are depressed. Now, what can you do? Self-care Sunday. Buy a candle. The diffuser. Buy a diffuser. Buy some oil.
Buy some essential oil. Yeah. And I think, like, it's not, like, we're not saying that self-care is a bad thing, but it's just, like, I see that the danger of it is that they're selling you and make you feel like, oh, you know what? If I go to this $30 fitness class, if I buy this $100 oil, all my problems will be gone. I will solve this. But there are just so many problems that are like embedded in our society, in our flawed society, that self-care just can't fix.
Yeah.
And I think that's why sometimes people are just like, I don't understand. I am still $1,000 worth of skincare later, I'm still depressed.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Exactly. Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the whole thing about Self-Care Sunday, it's just like, to me, it's like a wellness burnout. Almost like I did not know that we're scheduling self-care now. Like
what if I just want to be a piece of shit on Sunday?
Yeah, piece of shit Sunday. We're gonna start that, right? It's like it gives me anxiety to be like, you know, like, bitch, I gotta love myself Sunday because I don't love myself any other day of the week. So Sunday is the day I love myself.
Sunday, I will stop these self-depreciating jokes.
I will stop doubting myself on Sundays, but Monday to Saturday, free for all, bitch.
Free for all.
So like, yeah, like the moment, this is the thing about performative wellness to me, or performative self-care to me, is like, once you start chasing this thing, or you are like, once you start like scheduling it on your fucking calendar, like pen to paper, that shit, it's now another added item on your to-do list to be anxious about.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of conflicting?
Yeah, I guess this whole thing is very conflicting. It's also like, you don't have to, self-care could really just be anything.
What is self-care to you?
Like, I was caught off guard. Just like doing things I enjoy, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's I think the issue when we're talking about this is that we are in this generation is in this endless cycle of like feeling depressed because of all this information. Like I'm a 90s kid, so I'm probably like late millennial, which you are like early Gen Z. And so we grew up with a lot of technology. We grew up with a lot of we grew up with like just being in social media, being in front of the camera and all that, and being able to have mass amount of information just at a click of a hand, click of a finger. So so to a certain degree, it's like I almost see it like, because we are in a generation that our necessity and needs are fulfilled, that we're looking or seeking for other fulfillments.
Right.
And that is something like, I don't know, like self-exploration or like psychological fulfillment.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why this is a generation that cares a lot about
causes, I guess.
Activism. I mean, of course, there have been people that like are that created some great movements in the past, but this generation is like the generation that everyone goes together and comes together and supports something. And if you don't support this thing, you are a piece of shit. You know, it's feeling like that. So the performative activism, performative wellness, performative self-care, it's like, if you don't do self-care, what are you? Like, who are you? If you don't post your self-care,
you did not do self-care.
You did not do self-care.
Picture or it doesn't count. Instagram story or it doesn't count. Or you didn't go to that spin class, hun.
You do not tap it back, bitch.
Because you didn't post about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's like, I don't know, like we come into this episode without a solution, because I don't think we single-handedly can solve any problems this big.
I have crippling amount of observations for you. Just a thought that no one asked for.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess so when it comes to like self-care and setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I guess setting boundaries, people use it as self-care. It is a very interesting thing, because I have yet to practice that.
How are you on setting boundaries with social media? or with the way you receive information? Because we were talking about this, like the way we receive information now, nobody reads the news. Like,
I know people that read the news, but
how old are they? Your father.
My parents read the newspaper. But yeah, like we receive the news mainly on Instagram, and there are so many like
fake
these
news.
informative also platform accounts.
Yeah,
they're on Instagram right now, which makes it more, I guess, makes it easier for people to read about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is a bit hard to set boundaries because, well, first of all, that's where I get my information from.
Yeah, you don't want to completely disassociate yourself from the world.
Yeah, I still want to know what's going on, but sometimes when I'm like, okay, it's a little too much, like it's really affecting me emotionally, and then I'm like, okay, then I'm just gonna like not read about it. But then immediately I'll feel like, oh, that is so privileged, because this is not your reality, so you can choose to walk away from it.
You're
right now.
You're not the one clinging to a plane.
Yeah, no, I am not.
You can walk away from it.
So I can live, love, laugh, eat, pray, love life my way on Instagram.
Keep
because
calm and eat, pray, love, and carry on.
Because I'm not the one clinging off of my plane. Like, that's not my reality. So is that why I get to do that? Like, at that point, I just kind of question myself. Like, I'll be like, oh, you know what? You actually don't deserve to set boundaries.
You gaslight yourself to be like,
myself.
how dare you have boundaries?
I gaslight and gatekeep myself every day. Every day.
And that's, I guess, the source of some of my depression, or like the feeling of like overwhelmingness in the beginning of this episode when we talk about that. I just feel like there's nothing I can do, you know? Like, I understand. Maybe I'm being like somewhat pessimistic, but I understand that, like, yes, I can donate, or I can have awareness, and I can post on my platform. I understand all this, you know, I can share what's happening in Afghanistan, and which I haven't decided to do that because I'm just in such a shithole for the past few days. But then I'm like, yeah, I can do all that, and like, what is the next thing that's gonna happen, you know? Like, this, like, I'm gonna post about the earthquake in Heyyyy, and then the next thing is I'm gonna post about the Afghanistan, what's happening in Afghanistan, and then the next thing I'm gonna post about, like, you know, it's just endless, and I'm just disappointed in humanity as a whole.
I guess it's just that the world is
like, I know how to help them, but how do I help myself?
I mean, the world is inherently just
suffering.
Not a good place. And like, not even like, I guess sometimes I kind of get caught up in that narrative too of like, oh, my life is just kind of silly. But, and then, and I kind of spiral. But now I'm just like more so just sad about people getting killed and being oppressed. But I think it's really easy to fall into that narrative of like, what is there to do? You know? Because it's like, there's really nothing, like, if you're like really realistic, there's really nothing that you can do to help the world become a better place. Single-handedly. Like, you can make small impacts for sure, but I'm not an important person. Like, I cannot make changes like that.
And important people are shooting themselves into space. So like,
instead of ending world hunger, I choose to stay in space.
So like, there's really like, even
I can jerk off.
And you know what sucks is that we are seeing people who are capable of making some changes just not giving a shit. So it makes it feel like, why should I give a shit?
Eat the rich,
bitch.
But I guess like my point is just like, because then it's kind of like you can choose your own narrative, sort of like, yes, I, in the grand scheme of things, I have no real impact, but I can care for what I really care for. And like make the impacts there, because I feel like a lot of times it's like, oh, there are like these 5 things are happening on social media and I have to care for them all because I am a performative Gen Z. But the truth is you don't. And it's okay. You don't have to take up space and pretend that you care about the cause. You don't have to do that. Care about the cause that you truly care for and help in the way that you think you can help.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, and I think that was the conclusion that I came to is like, I know everything is happening and I know everything is shit, but it's making me feel like shit as well. So I'll just choose ignorance.
I choose to not know.
Ignorance
you have
is
to
a bliss.
try really hard to
be ignorant.
Yeah.
But you remember that period of time where I was off social media for like, I don't know, half a year or a year?
Yeah.
And I did not know anything about the world. And I think the world
also wasn't burning.
Yeah, at that time it wasn't. That was like 2019.
Yeah.
Why didn't I choose
when
to do
bitches
that?
are just out there catching Pokemon? That was a world peace, babe.
I wasn't missing out much.
No, not much. There was nothing really happening.
Yeah, it was catching Pokemons and what else was happening in 2019?
Just world peace, babe.
Just simply world peace.
World peace.
And I decide to come back into the world when the shit is going down.
Yeah.
I blame myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like being on social media lately has making me feel like really overwhelming. But we have this platform on Instagram, and I feel the obligation to be on there for all my fans.
Not gonna lie, if we don't
listeners.
have this, I would not feel inclined anymore to go on Instagram. Yeah.
Me too. And I know I post on my personal Instagram quite often too, but half the time I'm just like posting, like I'm thinking about what I can post to be more engaging with the people that is of the podcast.
Yeah, honestly,
I do not care about my personal friends anymore.
Oh, that's really comforting to hear. It's like so hard because I feel like sometimes Instagram is just like my means of communication to people. So
yeah,
I just really want to get off of it because there's really nothing there to meet that. But then I can't, like, I'll lose this channel. Like, I don't know how to reach out to certain people, but maybe those people just aren't supposed to be in my life. I don't know, but...
Well, remember that whole period of time where I wasn't on there and you will screenshot memes from Instagram and send it to me via WhatsApp?
Bitches, she a real one.
That was some fun time.
I will print off memes just to deliver it to you.
Start printing off tablets and make them into a booklet.
Yeah, no.
With a cover page and everything.
With just my proudly published book. Yeah, that's just social media.
I'm trying to set boundaries with social media because my mental health is just, I mean, we also talked about maybe taking a little break from the podcast in Christmas.
Yeah.
And I've been entertaining that idea more and more.
I think we should. I'm not just entertaining, I am going to fulfill it.
You have to convince me though.
Oh, okay, I will.
Because then it'll just be me single-handedly recording and talking about my depression on this podcast.
I think it's a healthy, like,
I think it's healthy, yeah.
It's healthy break. It's just that because like right now everything is digital. It's so hard to walk away. Like I am literally getting texts from people I work with at 7 a.m. till like 6 p.m. and I'm on Instagram. I'm posting stuff and it's just like, even though they're downtime, it feels like you're never off. And that's really not good for you.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like I'm never off. I feel like even when I'm off, I'm not off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when I'm like not on my phone, I'm thinking about what is happening on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also to end this, I want to talk about self-doubt a little bit. Like I was having, some days you're like, oh, I'm great. I feel great. Self-care.
Never felt that. But yes.
What do you mean?
Cannot relate, but can empathize. Yes. Continue.
So lately I'm just like feeling like, what is this? Like, we talk about performative self-care and all that or wellness, in this episode. And then I just start doubting myself or gaslighting myself. Like, but I did talk about self-care on my platform. I always talk about meditation and this and that. Like, why am I feeling so shitty if I'm, like, am I performative wellness? Am I performative self-care using my own platform too? And I'm just like gaslight, and yeah, it's horrible.
But you talk about it off social media too. You talk about it any chance that you get. I can see that it's a true passion of yours, not just a performance. Like,
you're right.
Like, you are like, sir, ma'am, do you have 5 minutes to hear about the benefit of meditation? Like every day.
Ma'am. You know what? You're right. Okay, well, there goes my answer. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's very normal.
Yeah.
Everyone, I have self-doubts every day.
Yeah.
If you don't doubt yourself, you are a maniac.
Yeah, you're right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up.
Doubt yourself, hon.
Doubt yourself. And Karen, just stop Googling male strippers. Karen is honestly never gonna give us money again.
She's like, tell me more. Yeah, give us more money and I'll tell you more about male stripper.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, I want to say, really define what self-care it is to you. Then, that's what I'm thinking now. It just came to me. It's like, what is self-care? Is it about these like scheduling a day in your week and posting it on Instagram? Or is it really about like doing it every minute, every second? That it's more of a mindset than it is an action.
That is actually true.
Yeah.
It's like a state of mind. Because honestly, yeah, you can be doing all of the quote unquote self-care, getting massages, working out, and you're still constantly at war with yourself. Mm-hmm. That's me. And that is not self-care. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's actually true.
And lastly, just really pick what you care about, I guess. Because for me, it's not that I don't give a shit about what's happening in the world. I care about humanity. I care about the people that's suffering in Afghanistan, and I want to help. But then there's also the aspect where I need to help myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's like being on a plane. My therapist gave me this analogy. It's like being on a plane and we have to put on that air mask thing where that drops down. Oxygen mask. I sound like an idiot. Air mask.
The thing that you can get breathe.
You can breathe in, and so you don't die of like without air. Fuck. You gotta put it on yourself first before you put it on a kid. There you go.
No, I'll always put on my loved ones first. End of story. I choose.
I just choose. We were talking about how there's a rise in COVID cases
because I think BC.
In BC because the Delta variant.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was saying how the depression will probably kill me first before the Delta variant gets me.
You're like, joke's on you, COVID. Bonnie, joke's on you as well.
Yeah, it's called reverse psychology. Be like, bitch, you thought you're gonna kill me? No, I killed myself first. In your face, COVID.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think this is too dark.
Sometimes
we gotta end
our
here.
humor is so dark. I think we just gotta go. Well, hashtag self-care.
Hashtag self-care.
If you like our episodes today, make sure you follow us on Instagram at sugahoneybbt, at SUGAHONEYBBT, and you can donate to us to pay for our therapy because clearly we need it.
Therapy is really expensive.
It's really expensive, honestly.
Yeah. Can we just collectively bill this to your ex?
Honestly, that's what I'm saying. I can't believe if I knew therapy was gonna cost me this much money, I wouldn't have done that.
And follow sugahoneybbt. And that's today's episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you can also follow us individually. Did you say that?
Yes, not yet. At BBT Mommy and at Sensitive Belle.
Yeah, my online presence is insanity, so follow me.
Insane.
Or don't. I don't give a shit.
And just hashtag self-care.
Hashtag self-care. Bye.
Bye.